Sorry, Kenneth tried to come on to me.
Oh. Buddy, behave. We're kind to our guests. This is where my allergies flare up.
Oh.
Welcome back to Strictlytalk.
We're Strictlytalk. Strictly talk about Strictly.
With Jordan and Poppy.
And also Emily.
And Kenneth.
And Kenneth is a cow for listeners.
A Highland cow.
A toy one, not a real one.
Imagine I brought a real cow. Like, welcome to Scotland, guys. Here's my pet
Exactly.
Highland cow.
Because for those listening and not viewing, we are all in the same room.
Yeah, we're doing that.
I can touch Jordan.
Yeah.
I should have asked for consent.
No, it's alright. It was just my arm, guys.
Yeah.
Don't worry. We're a very PG podcast.
No, worry for audio.
This is going to be a chaotic episode. We've never filmed in person before. In fact, we only met in person for the first time yesterday.
That's true. Height reveal.
I'm literally, it's so weird seeing someone's like shoulders down when you're just used to seeing their face.
Yeah.
But I guess you can kind of see all of us right now. We're very
Censor
comfy.
it.
So we're letting you into that as well.
And as I say,
We didn't even say what we're talking about.
Well, we're talking about the Strictly Pro Tour because we all went to see it yesterday.
Yes,
Not
we did.
together. Well,
No.
we did. You went to the matinee.
I went to the matinee.
But we're going to talk about what happened. This is not a spoiler-free podcast. I'm so sorry to tell you.
Yeah.
There will be spoilers. So we're going to talk about what happened and what we thought about it.
Yeah, we're going to tell you everything that we remember off the top of our head.
Which may not be a lot.
Which may not be a lot because you obviously can't record. And anyway, so we'll see what happens. But we're going to start with, as per usual, this or that. Wow, it's like a game show. Say it together. This or that. And very simply, without going into too much detail, because we'll cover it later, this or that. Did you prefer Act 1 or Act 2?
I'm going to look in Act 1.
Yeah, fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm going to look in Act 1 as well. However, I feel like I'm betraying the finale a bit by saying that.
I think also Act 1. I think I have to go with Act 1. But similarly, there's some of Act 2 that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
An act as a whole, though, I think Act 1
I think
would win.
more happened in Act 1.
Yeah.
So I just feel like there's more I can highlight.
Yeah.
Whereas Act 2,
It was fun.
there was some high highs, but perhaps there were some things that I didn't like as much.
Can't wait for the hot take later, because you know Poppy's got one.
I've got 7.
Yeah, so the rest of the episode is hot take. So
Yes.
moving on to... No, we'll just start the show. So
The very beginning.
we saw it in Edinburgh, but this is now like it's done a fair few now. But there's still another week and a bit to go. 2 weeks to go? I don't know.
I can't tell time.
There's a little while to go, so you got time to go see it. So maybe we'll entice you, or maybe Poppy will put you off.
I did like it, I swear!
But we're gonna start with, and what I've written down is opening number.
And what I wrote down is Blue Benson Boone.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
It was a fun opening number. It felt big and fun and flashy, and I didn't have much more to say about that. It set the tone well. I couldn't remember a single song that played, so you said Benson Boone, and that's great. I enjoyed, but...
Yeah. I was like, oh my god, it's happening.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's real. They danced right in front of us. They did a really good job. But by the end of the show, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, it didn't stand out, not in a bad way, in a way that I've seen it once, so it's like not...
Yeah.
You know? But not like I don't like it, just in a... It was dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it opened the show.
And
And it was delicious.
as you say, it's like the first... It was delicious.
It was
wow.
scrumptious.
What a wonderful way to describe it. I feel like it's the thing where you're just seeing these people run out on stage, and they were... Did they do it one by one?
I don't remember.
I actually couldn't tell you. But you're just like, hey, it's Nancy, it's Neil, this is so fun. And then the dance is over and you're like, cool, the show started.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you process it. However, we'll just go on. This, after that, led into our first correct prediction, kind of, which was Lauren and Kai presenting.
That's true.
They were the first presenters, although everyone did speak, but I think probably Lauren and Kai spoke the most throughout the show.
Also, not that Lauren was shackled to the Strictly
No,
I'm going to say those words again. Not that Lauren was shackled to the Strictly Theatre Company, but it did take like 3 years for her to get given a microphone and be allowed to speak. She was the first person to speak. I was like, oh my god! I remember the first time I heard her speak on stage.
Yeah.
Because it took so long.
Well,
And now it's finally happened
and now
immediately.
she's doing it. And she also acknowledged, not outright you, but the fact that you said she deserves a mention that it's her first tour. And her opening speech was essentially her being like, this is my first one, guys!
But,
yay!
Where was the dance?
She didn't get a dance. She didn't get a dance, no. In fact, what they did was a bit of hee ha ha, interact with the audience a little bit. Michael! Go see Michael in cinemas now. Not sponsored. Yet. Michael, hit us up. I don't think that's going to happen. We can try.
The real man.
Well.
He's ghost.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
The ghost of Michael Jackson is going to sponsor this podcast.
Is going to sponsor our podcast. They did just transition Lauren going, this is my first show, into, it's also Gillian and Alexis's first show. And sort of did a stage version of their Strictly intro dance. The swimming pool.
I was thinking about
dance.
I was thinking about when we talked about live tour, and we were like, they should flood the arena and do the pool. And then they didn't do that. They didn't flood the stage. No. But it was like, wait, they're doing that.
Yeah, they did it.
They are at a beach club.
It was
like, that's crazy.
And it took approximately 10 minutes for most of the guys to have their top off. Or at least very much open.
Yeah, very much open. Not complaining.
But yeah, I had fun with it.
Yeah.
And I think the things that we'd spoken about before about it being a swimming pool dance and it being a bit weird, like this, it was just a dance. They were dancing. There was no swimming pool.
I like this in a way, because we know I didn't love it, the pre-record. I prefer this.
Yeah.
The song mashups.
Oh, the songs were better. The songs
literally
were really good.
Something new, Girls Aloud.
Oh,
incredible.
Yes.
The way we gasped.
Yes.
We were like, we were listening to Girls Aloud while we were getting ready for the show, and then Girls Aloud was in the show.
You can't beat Girls Aloud.
And it was Tasha.
And it was Lorna Vito dancing together. It was crazy. Poppy Emily Land went insane.
Oh, wow, yeah, of course. This is the other thing with it, because we've all only seen it once, and there's, for the most part in the show, all of them are on stage.
Yeah.
Or a lot of them are on stage. Yeah. There wasn't that many duets. There were still a fair few, but so there's stuff missed for sure.
Well, normally there's more like trios or four, but you're right. It is a lot of like everyone or two.
Yeah.
Like there's a little bit of Bob's.
A little bit of Bob's.
So
who's Bob? Which one's Bob? Is that the new
That's
pro?
when I forget Gorka. I'm like, oh, there's one left.
It's Bob. And that maybe is because there was 10 of them as well. Yeah. And there was 5 guys and 5 girls, so it was quite easy to just pair them up the whole show.
That's true.
I don't know. But I enjoyed it.
We
saw Julian in short shorts, didn't take long.
And I didn't complain.
Saw Gorka with his top off, didn't take long. Although, wrong prediction, Julian was the first to take his top off. Oh. It wasn't Gorka.
But Gorka's top was still off.
Gorka's top was still off.
So, like, I'm taking it as a correct prediction.
Yeah.
That the shirt... I mean, I feel like there was maybe one number where Gorka had a full shirt that was done up. And every other number, I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did. And if he did, it was at least see-through.
Or he was or he was wearing a corset.
Oh, true.
Oh, yeah.
So,
it's basically...
what does that tell you?
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Although they did, even a little spoiler for Act 2, acknowledge the shirtlessness of some people, not Gorka, but someone else. And so the show was leaning into...
I blocked that out.
Did you? I haven't.
This is the LGBT spectrum.
Damn right. Anyway, so we moved on from that to this sort of like behind the scenes of the live Strictly show. Yeah. And they were talking us through this, like, this is how it works. We film a bit and we send it to blah, 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 and we get this done, and then we get told what costumes we're wearing. And that was a sort of told through this like video as well as live dance. Because
there were screens on the set. Yes. On the set. So like it's the other ones I've seen, they've had the same set every year. This is a brand new set with screens.
Yeah.
Which to me says expensive. I see a screen and I think there's money been put into this. And like they use those screens.
Budget.
Yeah, they use the screens well, including this bit literally in showing you the dance.
Yeah.
Some of it was on a screen.
I think they used the screens well. I just don't like how it took up a lot of the stage.
That's true.
The stage was small. It felt really small, although maybe it is a bit of like an optical illusion and it's actually a lot deeper than it seems. But there was a few points where I was like, they're all on stage and it's looking like they could kick each other quite easily by accident. So
God, the
I think
drama.
there was a few almost moments in my show.
Oh.
There was just because they were like spinning
Yeah.
and then really close to each other. But I don't know, maybe it's part of the drama.
Well, like, do the screens mean there's less space?
Mm.
Could be a hot take.
Could
Stay
be a hot
tuned.
time. Ooh, uh-oh. Spoilers.
But also about this dance, so this was very like Lindy Hoppy, Charleston.
Mm-hmm.
The girls' costumes, in my mind, I've named this the nighty dance because the girlies' costumes were kind of giving nighty,
like lacy and like
satiny,
and like
and
shiny.
were they meant to look like nighties, or was it like? I didn't really get the costume of this, like, because it started with Yuvita in like a kind of sportier kind of play suit look, and it's like, okay, she's in the training room, and also we're all in our nighties.
I'll be honest. Other than writing the in Julian and Alexis's one, swimming trunks and tops off, I don't remember costumes.
You got the most important one, to be fair.
Yeah, and what I've really noticed is lack thereof costume more than anything.
That's true.
But you two feel free to talk all about costume, and I'll smile.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and
And
be
then I'll
well.
tune into the podcast. I enjoyed this dance. It's not my favourite, as you know. I don't really like a Charleston vibe, but it was fun.
Yeah.
And you know, I want to see a bit of everything, and we got a bit of everything. It was interesting hearing how because it did seem like they were very genuinely telling you how it goes from like Monday, or whenever they get told what dance they're doing, to when it ends up on the Strictly stage. So that was cool.
I hiccuped. Out of shock.
Pardon you.
Pardon me.
Pardon you. And then we went on to this like Lola, Nancy being Lola, like gentleman's.
I couldn't figure out
dancing.
how to explain this dance.
It was weird.
Like, I don't know what the vibe, like I could,
So,
I
like-
saw it and I know what happened, but
Yeah.
like to use an adjective, I'm not sure.
So Nancy was like the star, I guess, and then Kai was this like
Vito.
Vito was what?
Like he
The-
was wearing a bow tie.
Oh, Vito
Yeah, it
was dancing with her, and it was like maybe it was supposed to be this like old timey romantic thing,
Yeah.
and then all the other guys came out and they were like waiters.
I didn't really
But then
understand.
Kai
what
came
it
out and he
was.
was the boss of them.
Yeah.
And then
He was American.
Kai was
Some
speaking.
reason.
There was a lot
This
going
sounds like
on.
we've shared a dream. I don't think we understood this one quite.
And we're describing it like it's crazy, but it's like when you're watching it, it doesn't feel
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. Also,
It's
I wasn't really focused on I was focused on the dancing.
Yeah.
I was
so
focused
felt
on
like
what was
I didn't take in
happening.
the story.
I
Yeah.
didn't take on what was happening in the story. I just kind of was like, oh look, Nancy Vito dancing. I'll watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And then
I will say Nancy was really good.
So
Yeah.
She
good.
was so cool in that dance.
Nancy in green.
Yeah,
Real.
Nancy in green.
Let's talk about costumes.
Yeah,
Nancy
Nancy
Green.
in
I
green.
do remember that costume. I actually remember other costumes in this one.
Yeah.
Well done, me.
It was the same dress as they wore in the diversity one.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Surprise!
Wow. Okay. I don't
Now
know
how we
that much
remember
about
it.
costume.
But like,
Yeah.
Nancy was just like so good
Yeah.
to the point that I know Vito was there, but like I have no memory of Vito because I was just watching Nancy.
Yeah. I mean,
He could have been doing
Anyone-
anything.
anyone that's listened to any episode of the podcast ever knows if Vito's on stage, I'm watching Vito, and I agree with you. In this dance, I was definitely watching Nancy. She was incredible. Yeah, there was a weird story going on. I don't really understand what was happening. I think it was more just an excuse to have this like old timey,
Yeah.
classy, and it was also a sort of classic. They take songs that don't really work, but then add a like beat rhythm that works
Yeah.
for the dance style, which is always funny because then when you realize what song it is, you're like, why are they doing Anne Marie? Or it wasn't Anne Marie, but it was something like that.
Yeah,
And
I
was
remember.
this song
It was
doesn't work.
something that wasn't real.
Yeah.
Like that's not the song, but it is.
That's not how it goes, but I liked it.
I did like a lot of the songs. They were really good. I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of them are like they remixed some random songs that really work.
Yeah.
Like a lot of
Yeah,
like
like the
songs.
mashups.
Yeah, the mashups were just good.
The
Like they
mashups were good.
Hit after hit after hit.
The
It was,
band
like,
were great.
good. Also, I liked the fact that a lot of them were like used before on the show. So I could be like, oh my god, that's like.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is the other thing is even at this point, I mean, we had the swimming one, and we're about to get to some more, but there was a lot of nods to the show, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So when they said it was all new choreography, like a lot of the song choices and dance styles that went with the song choices were stuff we were used to, so it wasn't actually as different and it still felt like you were going, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was nice. The band, what you were just saying, the band were amazing. Singing was amazing.
So good.
My goodness, they were really
Some of those
talented.
vocal moments will need special shout outs
Yes.
because so good. Patrick and Tara, come on the podcast.
Come on the podcast. So then we moved on to Jovita came out and was like, dancing is storytelling, and we tell stories. It was Jovita.
I actually don't remember this.
It was Jovita.
So I feel like you must be right, but I don't remember who spoke.
Because it was Lauren and Kai first,
Yeah.
and then it was Julian and Alexis, and then it was Nancy and Vito. No, it was Nancy and Neil.
Wasn't it Alexis and Gorka, or am I making this up?
I don't know.
This
They
in the
did
first
Alexis
dance.
and Gorka, but I don't know who spoke.
Oh.
No, Luba
I don't-
and Gorka at the end of that
Yeah,
one, because
'cause
they
that
did
made
this
me
whole
cry.
like,
Oh.
because that made me
That's
cry.
when we were crying.
So I
Oh,
guess
okay.
it was Jovita and
I just remember Alexis
We
and
forgot the
Gorka.
cast of the show again.
I just remember Alexis and Gorka's dance because I loved that dance. And I was like,
it must have
Who
been.
was
that was Stuart.
Who's on this show when they introduced the duets? I just remember them saying that they're going to do them, but I don't remember who was in it. They were just like, oh, we're going to have some
Neil,
duets now.
Gorka, Kai, Julian. It must have been Vito. It must have been
No,
Jovita
it wasn't
and Vito.
Vito.
Because it was
Maybe
Neil
it
and Nancy
was.
at first.
We may never know, actually.
Or maybe it was Neil and Nancy. Who cares? Doesn't matter. Jovita. Jovita spoke about storytelling. Dance tells stories, blah, blah, blah. So here, and this felt a little on the nose, the way they were talking. They were like, so here's 4 stories we will tell through dance.
It's like,
Let them begin.
I was like, okay, so we count down.
So it was
So
just 4 dances, really.
Yeah, it was just 4 dances, but to me, it's like the irony of them being like, dance is beautiful, and through the art we can tell stories, but then the lead up to this was so literal
This
that
is
they
the
were
thing.
like, we're going to explain it to you.
So much of the scripting in the show, I don't know who wrote the script, okay? I thought I was going to have beef with Matt Flint, only minutely. Do I have beef? Beef? Because of the whole Where's Lauren Solo. But like, overall his choreography was good and I can't deny it. Well done, Matt Flint. Whoever wrote these scripts,
Ugh.
there's a lot of it. We'll come back.
Some
There's
of
one
it-
bit in Act 2 that I really did not like the scripting of. But like, this bit, who thought, right, we're going to introduce this.
Yeah.
We're going to do 4 dances. Can you figure out the stories?
It's not the only time they did pretty much specifically that as well. It was very funny, but those 4 stories were a story of love, a story of rivalry, a story of
Yeah, I didn't actually know all the stories. But I'll be so
betrayal.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand.
know
I
the
didn't
stories,
register the story part
Yeah.
of this. I just saw
the
dances.
story of
I was like, oh my god, Alexis and Gorka, lovely dance. Oh my god, Vito and
so
Neil,
the first
lovely
one was
dance.
Alexis and Gorka
Yeah, and this
doing
made me
a very
emotional.
beautiful dance.
Because
It
I
was
really
very good.
thought Gorka's leaving.
What?
Gorka's leaving.
Keep going.
And you're just watching Gorka do this like
keep going.
keep all in.
Keep
You're
going.
seeing Gorka do this beautiful dance that's really quite emotional and he's leaving. And it's like, what do you mean?
So I was just putting
And it was the fact that he was doing it with Alexis, and so it was like the newest and like
Oh.
the one who's
Yeah.
leaving, and it was just so I love that dance. Like,
It really
it was
made
just
me like
she's
sad.
just
But
love
this
Alexis.
was one of the things I'd said that I really wanted from the show was because Gorka's so strong
Yeah.
and Alexis does the coolest lifts. To be fair, anytime Alexis was dancing with anyone, it was just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's
but
she gone?
this was like a duet focused on the
Yeah.
lyrics, brilliant. So I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, although out of the 4, not my favourite, but we'll get to why.
Oh. The second one was Lauren and Kai
Yes.
doing ballroom. I feel like we didn't get a lot of like ballroom in the show. Like I feel like it was a very like uplifting, fast
Yes.
vibes.
Similar
some
to
dramatics.
the Strictly Live
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah, because very little ballroom this year,
So
wasn't
like
it?
that was like I feel like one of the few pure ballroom
Yeah.
like long dress. Don't know what the story was.
Mm-hmm.
But
No.
like I was just thinking, Lauren's on her first pro tour and she's
Yeah.
doing and then I was thinking there was a time when Kai and Lauren went on Australia together and now they're on the Strictly Pro Tour together and I can imagine telling them when they're on the Burn the Floor like 10 years ago that now they're going to be doing this.
It's
And then I
nice.
was like, oh, her dress is like roses but they're blue. And then I was like, oh, who's next?
And who's next?
So
Well,
I don't know the story yet.
on the Lauren and Kai one as well, they danced together a lot.
Yeah.
They were a pair a lot of the time. Or maybe that's like confirmation bias, and I see them as a pair, so every time they did dance as a pair, I was like, there they are.
But then they
again.
like spoke a lot as a pair as well.
They
I
did.
think they were a pair a lot though.
Yeah.
Based on, I was looking at pairings, so I was looking at who like my favourite paired with. And I do think Lauren and Kyle paired together a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Too much, so much joking.
This, I agree, we had too much. Can they stop?
Separate.
Yeah, enough of that. This dance was really nice, but I agree, there wasn't very much ballroom, so certainly not that much ballroom where it was just like a pair doing it as well. I enjoyed it, but the next one was my favourite.
Same. The way I gasped.
Yeah, so this was the one of rivalry or something, I don't know.
I actually got this story. This one.
Well, shout out to our two wonderful men, Neil. Wait, that's Vito. Vito and Neil.
BDSM.
There was some sort of.
God, just
who
like George's
knows?
Paso.
Was it a Paso or was it Argentine?
Yeah,
I was both, I think, but what? Because there was some of this.
There was some of this.
But there was some of
Oh.
Well, podcast exclusive.
visual exclusive. I am wearing shorts under my skirt, but also
Well,
visual exclusive.
yeah, this was so funny. This was so cool. It was Neil running out initially because I think it was like one at a time, and I just didn't expect it to be Neil doing this dance.
No, I didn't expect any of this.
No. I will say, it's fine because they had 5 guys and 5 girls. This was pretty much the only time we had 2 guys or 2 girls dancing together. There was a tiny bit of 2 girls as well, but there wasn't that much of it, which I was like,
But I do appreciate that, like, the 2 men, like we said, like 2 men rivalry paso.
Yes.
So it's like, if we're gonna do one, thank you for doing that one.
This is something we, to a T, said we want to see.
I mean, we chose different men, but
we did choose different men. I just did not expect to see Neil doing it.
No.
Vito, fine. Vito gives sassy like that.
Ooh.
Neil doesn't.
I don't say Vito and Gorka or Vito and Julian.
Yeah.
That's my
But-
guesses.
By the way, Neil was great.
Yeah.
They absolutely
I was
nailed
actually
it.
so
This is not a hindsight thought. This was a
like
foresight.
happy to see Neil doing something like that because we've not seen it.
Yeah.
And like throughout the show, Neil is kind of the comedy character, and he is very happy to play into that. And he basically all the funny moments are Neil being silly. So to see him in this serious, passionate, but also like manly, macho. Oh, it feels like I'm digging a hole against Neil again. But see him in this role that isn't what he did throughout the rest of the show.
So nice to see him masculine for once.
So sorry, Neil. Come on the show.
I also felt because he doesn't get a partner.
Yeah.
You don't actually see him dance. Like you see good group dances, but then it's no ever the leading group dances.
Minecraft.
Yeah, well,
Well,
we'll get there.
so it's like kind of proves my point really. So like it's just like to see him dancing, actually good dancing, serious.
Yeah.
It's actually like whoa, he can dance. Like, obviously, like, he can dance, but like it's kind of like oh,
You
Neil is
do.
a dancer.
You start to forget because you're right. You just don't see it very often. Loved it. That was a very fun moment. I can't remember the song.
No. I don't think I heard this. I was just like,
I knew it.
oh my god, what's happening? And they were in like mesh shirts with like these BDSM like.
Yeah, it was
It
like
was,
leather.
it was giving a
It's
little
like
bit
George's
George
Paso.
Clark.
It was
Yeah.
George's Paso, yeah, because he said about how he looked like me tied up.
Yeah, they did look like. Is that the story?
Maybe it's a link to George.
Maybe.
Could be.
Because Vito
Oh.
George.
I remembered a dance that I completely forgot, but we'll get there.
Got it in.
I missed it.
Oh, she got in the Emily Vito George.
I was like Emily Vito George. Vito George. I got it in. You know.
Watch that back and you'll understand.
That's really good. Yeah, I can't wait to watch that one.
And then our final of the fours. Yeah, exactly.
So I hit the high note there.
Yeah.
Was that good?
So we had Julian and Yvita. Yvita came on. Gorgeous dress, may I say.
Gorgeous.
She looked lovely.
Gorgeous.
Then Julian came on with no top on.
No clothes.
Not to
I do
objectify
remember
the
this.
man,
Well,
but also
this is different for our shows. We'll get there. Julian had an opportunity to wear a top at one point in my show and chose to remove it. And the rest of the cast went, oh, he's doing that. So I think he's very much up for everyone
Yeah.
going, wow.
I mean, he might as well show it off.
Yeah, it's very impressive. But yes, he wasn't wearing much clothes.
And the dancing was also impressive.
The dancing was very impressive.
And
They
this
basically did Nikita and Ambo's. Nikito and Ambo. Oh, Jesus. Dream On!
Get back into it.
They
Come on.
did Dream On. It wasn't the exact same, but it was very similar vibe to what we
Yeah.
saw on the Strictly season. Amber and Nikita's Dream On, Argentine Paso Tango. I'm saying this dance was a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so good, and I wouldn't have put those two together.
No.
But, oh my god, that was like fire, spicy, flame emoji. If I was to explain it in an emoji, I would go red flamenco lady, flame emoji, and also the heart that's on fire.
Wow.
Oh, is there an abs emoji?
No, but if you contact Apple.
Oh, an Australian.
Yes.
I've used the Australian
Yes.
flag as the last one.
Yeah.
A kumquat.
I don't think I know what that is actually. That's a fruit.
Isn't that an animal? An Australian animal?
That's a kiwi.
I think there maybe is.
No! No, it's something, the things in Australia that you like feed, you can go up to and take selfies with.
Yeah, but a kumquat is a fruit.
Okay, well, what's the thing
I
I'm
think
thinking
it's a
about?
real- I don't know. I don't-
That's what I'm thinking of.
A quacka.
That's it.
Quacka.
It's similar.
As we
Okay.
were. Does that have an emoji?
I don't know, maybe.
And Apple will get on that one too.
Okay.
Sponsored by Apple.
Hashtag ad.
Also,
hashtag ad.
I do want to say, so we had Neil and Vito, and I thought, we've had two men, are there going to be two women coming out? And then I could see Luba in the wings. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. It
No.
didn't happen,
No.
but Luba did then come on and speak after the four. So that's why
And
she was in the wings.
That's why she was in the wings. And what she did, she came on stage and went, I'm going to try and make you all cry now.
Yeah, pretty much.
She basically
did.
spoke about the
She
fact
did.
it was her last season was her last season, but it's not the end. She sees it like a dance where a dance comes to an end and then you have to start your next one and the
That's
next
so
one could be
beautiful.
better.
I'll cry
And-
right now.
Yeah, go on. Just get it out.
Like, it's
It was
really
all-
lovely. It's
It
a
was
great way
really
to
lovely.
say it.
And the audience were like
Oh,
so
it was so
supportive
cheered
of
for
her.
her when they were getting, Gorka was like, yeah, more cheers for her. And then
Well,
was
because
like,
I saw people
Cheers
say
for
who
her.
had been to, because prior to our shows, there'd been two other shows, and that's it. And I'd seen people say that, like, her speech was really emotional and she cried in it. And, like, she wasn't crying. She was doing quite well, and then people started really cheering. And she had to,
Yeah.
like, stop to, like,
It's
compose
the same
herself.
for
And then that
ours.
made me cry because
Yeah.
she was emotional.
She
Yeah.
got emotional at ours. Interestingly though, although I'm very happy that the focus was for Luba, I was surprised that Gorka didn't acknowledge at all that he's
Yeah.
leaving, even though he was the one that was the pair on stage at this
Yeah,
time.
I feel like this adds to my theory of Gorka just not wanting attention around it. And
Yeah.
he was like, I'll be on stage, but I'm not saying it.
And
So
then-
this is me saying I'm leaving, is I'm next to Luba.
Yeah, and to
Yeah.
delve a little bit into conspiracy theory of it all, Gorka we know has left due to his own. He's like, I've got something, I'm gonna go do that, and so he's sort of like, yeah, see you later.
Also,
Whereas
yeah.
Luba, we're not sure what happened.
Also, he was announced at a different time, and I feel like this has something to do with it because the others had the kind of like all the staff there. It was announced, it was kind of a big thing.
Yeah, that's
Then
true.
Gorka was just a quick little, here's this before
Yeah.
the tour starts.
I
so-
almost wonder if there was just a conversation a couple of weeks ago with Gorka where they were like, can you do both? Like, here's what you need to be available for Strictly. And he was just like, no. And they were like, all right, well. Whereas the other one seemed like it was we're casting this season, are you in or out sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it was a very, beautiful moment. And then they did, they danced? Did they dance? Those two
Yeah,
ladies
it was
did
like a
dance?
quick steppy.
Yeah.
Because then love this.
Oh!
Sorry.
Then he,
That was such an Anton noise. It was such an Anton
Oh!
moment. He went like
my
this,
loves.
and he caught a cane.
Oh,
I loved that. I want to know who threw it. 'cause
Side-
it was perfect.
yeah, side note, the amount of throwing and catching of props in this show stressed me.
Wasn't there
Same.
a flower that Vito threw on
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah? Yeah, oh
And there was
yeah.
lots of
If you're
choreography in
sat,
this
at
one.
least for my show, sort of 6th, 7th, 8th row of the front right stalls, you might get hit in the face by a rose that Vito throws. I'm a
Fingers
poet.
crossed.
6th,
Oh.
7th, 8th rows that Vito throws. Vito. Do you want to see? You have no interest. It's-
Oh, that's what you got from over there.
This is my friend got me for a Secret Santa.
It's a really good present.
Very good present. Anyway, distraction. Anyway, it was a lovely dance.
Yeah, and then they brought in all the boys and they introduced the boys in their little in full tail suits. That's actually quite rare because I feel like normally on Pro Tour the boys are introduced very sexily, and this time the girls were introduced sexily.
I like
and that is feminism.
But the girls were introduced sexily in the same dance that the boys were all not wearing tops. So they were still all being sexy.
Yeah.
But it was the
girls.
girls.
Like the girls were like, here's Lauren Oakley. She was like,
yeah.
I was like, all right. And then the boys like, here's Julian, and he's like,
yeah. I liked how maybe this is the lesbianism, but I liked how the boys were introduced like the tail suits and like the jazz and the
yaz. I love the yaz.
Yaz. I liked that, the canes, the top hats. I liked that. So I liked how the guys, because a lot of the time I find, obviously on Pro Tours, a lot of the guys, it's just like, here's me gyrating. Here's me. I was going to say, Vito gyrate on a chair last time. Like the hungriest Italian, and it's like thrusting at a chair. Like, a lot of the time, it's just topless men gyrating, and I'm like...
That's horrible.
And this time, it was dressed women gyrating.
Yes, it was. Although, don't you worry, there's many a gyrating in this show. There's a lot of it.
Everyone was about to cancel their tickets. Don't worry.
Don't you worry.
There's some gyrating later that made me nervous.
I was like scared.
It was like, a lot.
Is this allowed?
Yeah.
So,
there was a few points where I was like,
here.
what's the age?
Allowed?
What is the age? But no, the other thing on that, the tail suits I thought was fun. The shirt and the jacket were actually one piece.
Oh my god.
That I noticed. I was like really sussing out because I was like, they weren't like tucked in or anything. And I was like, maybe it wasn't this dance, maybe it was a different one where they're in suits, but it's all one thing.
I suppose it makes quick changes.
But they have to do quick changes. So.
There were some quick changes that were so quick.
Yeah.
That I don't understand. Like between when Lauren and Kai spoke at the beginning and then when she came back on, because like Kai I think just probably had to change his top. She had to come in a full different outfit, and I'm like,
yeah, whoever's stood in the wings ready to be like on, they're doing a good job. But anyway, and then that brought us to the end of Act 1, which Nigel. Who's Nigel?
I meant to say
Neil and Nancy. Neil. My favourite combo.
I tried to say
Nigel.
I tried to go Ningle. Throwback to when Kai called Neil Ningle.
What were their name? Nancy and Neil. Naniel.
Naniel
or
Neilsey.
Neilsey.
What I was trying to say was Neil's shiny helmet.
Neil's shiny helmet.
Which he really liked to speak about.
Neil kept on us.
I liked it before the helmet came out. I liked the dance.
That's no way to talk about Neil. Also, I was wearing leopard print. I matched Neil. I accidentally matched Neil.
On purpose.
On purpose. He matched me. Neil
matched you on purpose. So they came out and they just chatted again a little bit. But then it was like hey audience, do you want to get involved? And the audience went, okay. And then, Poppy's demo, it was 1, 2,
we've
3,
got ahead.
4, 1, and then clap, and that was it.
Although, I don't know about your audience, our audience, when they tried to demonstrate the claps, they said 4 claps.
Yeah.
People went to like 7.
Oh, people couldn't get it on
and Nancy really found it funny.
Also, Nancy was hilarious explaining it because she both forgot what to do. And visibly was like, what's next? And then also was like, arm, clap, which wasn't the dance.
No.
That's not what we were doing. So it was very entertaining, but basically they were like, we're about to do a big fun disco number, and at some point you're going to see Neil's shiny helmet. And when you do the dance. And we did. And it was a fun disco. It was all your favourite 80s songs, but also some...
Ruining your audio.
It was also some like Girls Aloud or something again.
I actually don't remember what was in it. I've lost track.
It was good songs. Can't remember. Wait, was this Kiss My Uh-Oh?
No, that was opening to Act 1 because I literally had that
Spoiler!
Sorry, I love that dance. I was wondering when that was. Okay.
All I know is they were in gold, and I was like, okay, so Yovita's wearing AJ Dudu's dress,
but she filled it in, didn't she? Oh no, that was another dress.
That was another
dress, but it was like filled in.
Nancy's was Diane's dress at some point.
Yeah.
Lauren's was really giving Renaissance cozy bodysuit, which is important to me. There was a lack of Beyonce in the show, I'll say that.
There was.
Not the point, but...
I haven't understood a word for the last 30 seconds.
I think Yovita was wearing...
It was AJ's dress. From her promo.
Oh yeah, was that the one that was filled? Because I saw like the fill-in. Because Zara had it.
No, that's a different one.
Different dress.
Trust me, guys. I know what I'm talking about.
I have no idea what's
I'm
going
going to
on.
put images on the screen.
Whoa.
Did you see
I
that?
edit it.
Oh, I'm just going to put images on the screen.
Oh, great. Can't wait to do that one. Anyway, it was fun. And then...
Yeah, it was a fun way to end the... Also, I think it was good to have, like, lots of songs in it. We'll come to the actual finale later, but I really liked this mashup of songs, even though I can't tell you a single one that was in... Oh, You Make Me Feel Mighty Real was in there.
You make me feel...
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh my god, that song was with JoJo. And he's not in the show, but this song is, so it's like he was there.
It was all the... they've all been on Strictly before, for sure. Probably in group numbers as well. This felt a little bit like... there was a bit that was a bit like the end of Strictly this year. There was one of the dances, so maybe there was just one song that overlapped or something. I don't know. Anyway, that was a really good sentence, and I hope that added a lot to this podcast for you all. But that was the end of Act 1.
And then it was the interval.
It was the interval, which I just sat.
Oh.
Did you do anything fun?
We went to the toilet, and there was a like
really
queuing
fun.
system, which I really appreciated because like it meant that we got it. Like there were people by the toilets to tell you like when they were free and stuff.
Oh.
It was well done. Can't speak. Well done, Edinburgh Playhouse. Really well organised toilet system. And then we went to the bar, and then we took some pictures by the stage.
Well, I sat and chatted to the lady sat next to me.
Diva. Hope she watches.
Hope she watches. She has no idea. I was like, are you a fan of Strictly? She went, yeah. No, oh, okay. But she seemed to have a great time.
That's what
so she asked me at one point, does he normally have long hair? And there was 5 guys on stage, and I was like, I think all their hair is usually about this.
Yeah, this is them.
I don't really know, and I don't know who she thought.
Was it Julian when he had his little man bun?
Maybe it was Julian with his little man bun,
which I liked.
Or I was wondering from like where we were sat if it was like if she hasn't watched Strictly in a while, she's maybe thinking of like Gratz. Thinking Julian maybe with the like hair, but it used to be longer. Yeah.
And he's also changed like where he's from.
That's really offensive comparison.
Cancel. We're gonna cancel that woman from Fife.
Sorry, Jane. I don't know if that was her name. Anyway, on to Act 2, and it opened with I think maybe my favourite dance of the whole show.
Really enjoyed.
But that's mostly because it was a Little Mix / Anne Marie song, mashed up with a Eurovision song from like 4 or 5 years ago. Fuego.
Oh. I thought Fuego would be a really good salsa. It's on my Strictly playlist.
It's a great... it might be on my Strictly playlist, actually.
I think it'd be a really good salsa.
If you don't know the song, it's a great song. I won't sing it here because I don't want to ruin...
Montel and Johannes did a samba to it, I think.
Yeah, I think
she's
so.
fire.
But what it made me realise was I'm on Strictly, I will be doing a Latin dance to Kiss My Uh-Oh.
You can kiss me.
Because they did it to a funky beat.
Yeah, I really liked it.
And it was really fun.
And like,
yeah, I was going to say that they went straight from, it was Catherine Johannes' samba song, and then it was, and I was like, and then it was Molly and Carlos's samba song, and I was like, Obviously not that Johannes or Carlos were there, but it felt like they were there. And I was like, Carlos.
Yeah. And I like that it started...
Every day.
Well, yes. So it started, we used the screens again, we had like silhouettes of the girlies, like black silhouette against a bright colour. And it was like them and their fans, and they came on, and I was like, oh, we're doing more Passowy vibes. Then it turned to samba.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was allowed. But I liked it. It was clever. You know what, Matt Flint?
Peter's falling over. Sorry, Peter, let me just piggyback. He keeps falling over. We'll get to you. Loved it. It was just fun. I feel I sound like Craig now. Fun. Just dull. I just am a huge Little Mix fan and historically a big Eurovision fan. Won't get into that's a whole different podcast. Not anymore. But when this song came out, big fan, and putting it together with some fun dancing, incredible.
Yeah.
I actually might change my answer to which was my favourite act. We'll see.
You know, I've just noticed something else that's in Act 2. So I was thinking before, it's just the finale song that I'm betraying by picking Act 1. But then I've just remembered something else that's in Act 2. And I'm like,
that you didn't like.
No, that I loved. That
Oh.
I'm like, I've just read.
Was it what we're about to get onto?
It's that one.
This. Oh.
Because look at the pros.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Well, it is what we're getting onto.
Oh, it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Cool.
So then we had this dance ended, and it looked like it was going straight into another dance, and I audibly went, "Oh no!"
Yeah, no, I'll just
say.
Oh no!
I went, "Oh gosh."
Because what happened was Neil dressed up as is his name Steve from Minecraft. I don't know if he was dressed up as who he was in that dance or it's supposed to be Jason Momoa. I assume he was supposed to be who he was.
I don't know Minecraft, and I've never rewatched that dance since it
all
was
all I saw was, why is he wearing a wig?
So he had a long wig, and he had a beard, and he had his little pickaxe, and he walked down the stairs, and I really thought we were about to get the Minecraft dance.
Yeah.
And they did like a little bit for like 10 seconds, and then Neil actually just started speaking instead.
I was so scared.
And it was really scary. And basically he went, we do movie week on Strictly, and sometimes we absolutely nail it. And or movie week or costumes from movies or something like that.
This is why I hated the script of this bit.
It was confusing as to what this part was supposed to be.
I could change anything from the show, I would re-script this entire speech because it made no sense. Because he said, like, that they do movies, and then he was talking about costumes, and then the pictures on the screen. One was from Icons Week, some was from Movie Week, I think, and then one was a Halloween one.
Yes,
so
and then we're talking about people being done dirty by their costumes.
So it's like, are we talking about movies or are we not? Also, you're talking about like hair and makeup and costume, which I think are really strong departments on Strictly, and my friend that's too woke opinion is, I don't think we should be disrespectful to hair, makeup, costumes in our show, because your show would be nothing without them, Neil. Not that this was Neil's choice, to be clear.
No.
Not actually angry at Neil, but whoever wrote this script, it didn't make sense. Half of what he was saying, not only in the examples, like he would talk about quick step. The visual on screen wasn't a quick step. And it's like, why is it not matching up?
Did happen a little bit throughout the show as well, where there would be the screen wouldn't be quite synced up, but that might maybe it'll get better when it goes, sort of thing.
So
my kind of take on it was he was making it seem like, oh yeah, so we do movie week, here are dances from movie week, and then only one of the dances that was danced was actually danced on the show.
Yeah.
So like in that exact form.
Yeah.
Yes, there was parts of Lauren and Gorka's one, which was, but in a sense it wasn't dances they used from the show. Like they've done those musicals and films on the show, but they didn't use the songs that they danced to on the show.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, what's the point then? Because how are you doing like these Wicked and Hairspray, whatever, without actually using the songs you use? Like, why not use like Kira Name's Drive?
Because that was musicals week.
Exactly. Oh yeah. Well, my point still is, but you're doing a thing on movie week.
Well, that's it.
It doesn't make sense.
And I think what I said about the same sort of bit. So this was again 4 sort of duet-ish things going on, and in Act 1 it was so on the nose. Here's 4 stories, and this one was like, what is happening here? The gist of it was these are costumes that they nailed on the show, so you're gonna see these dances. Also, it's movie week.
Like, I just didn't really understand what he was saying, but I think they can easily keep the dances and just tighten up what he's actually saying.
However, I really enjoyed the dances.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So it started with Kai and Nancy
gorgeous
dancing from Mulan.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Again, Nancy Shu.
They did it on this season.
Yeah.
It was right near the start of this series of Strictly, and when I saw it, I was like, this is amazing. And it's just really nice to see Nancy be able to sort of represent that as well. Because she said a bit about that when it happened. Like, I think she only got to say it on social media because it was maybe she did say it on the show. I can't remember. But she spoke about how she was really proud to be able to do that, and then for her to be able to bring it onto her as well. So
and I also really think seeing it in person was even better than seeing it. Like, it was great on the TV, and you had the pianist, whose name I can't remember, who was the musical guest that they were dancing to, which obviously you didn't have on the tour, but like, because it's a 2-person dance and it's so like almost, because it's like slow and kind of not intimate in terms of like content, but in terms of like it just is the slowness of it.
It draws you in.
Yeah, so like watching it on a stage is so like, I was gonna say an immersive experience, but I don't know if that's quite what I mean. But like it draws you in, you know.
It was a really, really nice dance. And it was really well danced. I just enjoyed it a lot.
I really like that.
It was a good vibe. And then it moved on to Wicked.
This was my favourite.
Do the riff.
They didn't do that song.
You know? That was alright. They didn't do that song.
They also didn't do the one they did on the results show in actual Strictly last year.
No.
They also didn't do the one that they did on Musicals Week the year before, and they didn't do the one they did on Musicals Week the year before.
This is the thing that this is where it becomes confused as to what this section is, because the Mulan dance was from the show, and we were like, "That's awesome." And then I went, "Oh, so they are doing dances that we've seen."
Yeah.
But then it was the only one that we've seen, and I can't remember the live show version of the Mulan dance well enough to know if it was the same choreography. To be fair, but the rest of it wasn't. Anyway, it was a new Wicked dance.
Yeah, which Neil, you just said this is when Strictly got it right. We've not actually done this one.
We've not done it before.
But it was To the Wizard and I. I want to talk about Tara's vocals.
Oh, so
sensational.
Good. So good.
She sang that so beautifully.
Yeah.
It was Julian and Luba. It was danced incredibly. There was a big lift at the end that was just...
It's quite scary.
Yeah. But amazing.
It was just like that.
Scare amazing.
Right? He just held it like that.
It was like...
And he kept
and like,
running in a
did they
circle.
spin? Yeah. It was just so gorgeous and stunning.
I don't remember this.
But I like that one. I absolutely loved it. I just wow.
And then
that's my review.
Wow.
Wow.
And then we got sort of a version of Gorka and Helen's dance,
which was Musicals Week.
Which was Blackpool, no? Oh no, it was Musicals Week.
But then at the first half of it was the song that Lauren and Krishnan did in Movie Week, but not in the same style they did it in Movie Week. See, this is where it's confusing.
And this is going back to the start where I said like there's nods to, maybe I didn't say that, maybe I just said this too. I think I did say it. There's like nods to the show.
Yeah.
A lot more than we were expecting, so it was kind of fun in that regard.
Yeah.
But again, it was a bit like, it felt like, oh, I remember this sort of happened at some point. Also,
sorry to clarify, it was Cabaret, it was Fosse, Gorka and Lauren were doing first Money. How many monies are in that title?
Money.
And My Hair. There were chairs. We did predict chairs and tables. There have been quite a few.
There were quite a few. No chairs in the school.
No, but there were chairs in this one. It was giving a slight nod to Anton the Musicals, for me personally. That woman cannot escape dancing to Mine Hair.
No.
She can't help herself.
What I will shout out to Lauren, her acting throughout this entire show. She was one of the most like captivating performers as well as dancer.
Yeah.
Like she was giving character every time. It was great.
And like this one was just so fun and so, I love Fosse. I meant to put on my wish list that I want Fosse because I love Fosse. Gorka dancing Fosse I absolutely love. Was hoping he would get another opportunity to do a Fosse couples choice before he left, but it's okay. And Lauren dancing Fosse I absolutely love. So to see those two be the two to do this number, I'm like,
that was nice.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
And they danced it really well. And before we went out, I was wearing a dress to the show, and I hadn't fully got changed, and I was wearing like the black cycle shorts I'd wear under it and a black bra, and I was like, this is my outfit for the show, ready to do some Fosse. It's basically what Lauren wore.
It literally came out, I was like,
I should have worn that after all.
Now you're matching with Lauren, not me.
Oh, thank God. Oh.
Yeah. And then the last one.
This one I remember.
Was, I'm just checking, so it was just the two of them.
Yeah.
Alexis and Vito, Hairspray.
And it was Nicest Kids in Town, which Tilly and Nikita did, but they didn't like completely copy that. Like they just did a song that Tilly and Nikita did, and I don't know if it's meant to be like an ode to their jive or if it was just, we've done this song before. Like
to me, it wasn't anything like theirs though.
Yeah,
so I
a bit confusing.
Don't think it was. But then also, what was the point? I don't know. But I had a great time because Vito and Alexis were dancing together, and I was there like.
I was gonna say something I don't know if we've seen pretty much ever is those two dancing together.
No.
It's like an unusual pair.
Yeah, and it was wonderful.
It was fun.
I love the pink. I'm going to recreate that for a show. The pink.
Yes. The show being right now.
Yes.
The whole show.
5, 6, 7, 8.
As in
Nicest kids in. Kids in town.
Exactly. But yeah, no, that's my favourite because obviously it was Vito and Alexis, and I think it was really great. And I love seeing the different pairings you get on Pro Tour. That's what I do enjoy it a lot, which is why I was like, I kind of in a way wish Kai and Lauren were always dancing together because I like when you get everyone dancing like the different pairings and you see, oh, look at that friendship, it's just really cute.
Yeah.
So I like it when it's like, oh, so plus obviously them putting them two together, I'm gonna be like jumping off the walls. I nearly was, but I had to some decorum, do you know what I mean?
Theatre etiquette.
Exactly.
Yeah, a great 4. I enjoyed all of them. And it was quite fun to, even though it was confusing, to have those nods to the rest of the, like, to stuff we're familiar with.
Yeah. Then they had one that I've just remembered happened and I didn't write down.
I wrote it down.
And I didn't know what... The reason I didn't write it down is I don't know what movie this was. Is this still in the movie bit or is this just fun? Like, I didn't understand if we were in a new section or if this was part of the movie. I think it's a new section. Like, that's why I didn't write it down. I didn't... There's 2. But I don't remember what happened, so I didn't recognise the song, so I had no idea what was going on.
Was it the one
I don't know what you're talking about because I don't have it written down.
Was it that was meant to be Wuthering Heights?
Well, I don't know if it was Wuthering Heights. They were in like bodices, and like the screens had like gardeny backgrounds.
I think it was supposed to be Wuthering Heights.
And I was like, is this Wuthering Heights? But I couldn't recognise what the song was. But like, I was thinking to myself, I do think a Wuthering Heights number would be really nice on Strictly, but is the new film a bit too sexy? Don't know.
I think it was a song from the new soundtrack though.
That's what it sounded like to me, but I wasn't 100% sure. But it didn't feel clear to me what that was. And I was like, because the duets was, we are doing 4 duets, so you knew, okay, that's that section. This, I didn't know when we were ending, so I didn't know if this was this one wasn't clear to me.
No.
Also, it's ironic because a lot of the show was like, we're doing this. It was very literal, and this bit wasn't.
No.
That was kind of ironic.
So I just didn't really understand what was happening. The girls had like sleeves on. Was it Wuthering Heights? Annie wants to tell me. Comment down below.
That was where they had like the extra sleeve underneath the top of the.
No, the frilly bit.
Yeah, that bit. I don't like that bit.
Sure, so I've been having Claudia Winkleman the whole time.
That's so offensive.
I'm also Kenneth, you've covered me in your hair. Alright, well we have a different order written down, but I'll admit
I think I may have got the order wrong.
So I think after this we had another prediction or something you just said they do every single time, which was a cowboy moment. There was like a western, they were all... And it was more Anne-Marie.
Yeah, which was Charleston song.
Yeah.
And they had a bit
Selfie stick.
Bar song Tipsy. Is that what that song's called?
Yeah. Bar shot of whiskey.
Tipsy.
No, that's good. That's really good.
I really enjoyed this dance, and I really liked how much Uvita and Alexis were being thrown about on it because that was part of my wish list. You would just look and they'd be like, oh my god, what lift are they doing now? Yeah. They've gone upside down. Where are they? Oh, she's over there.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
The whole thing was impressive, but I like that there was unhealthy. I think purely just because we discussed the fact that they always do it, and it's sort of like why I was watching the whole thing like, why is this happening?
Like, there's no explanation. They just love cowboy boots.
Yeah, they love a wee cowboy moment. And like, Alexis now, but before that, none of the pros are American. There's no like cowboy western roots going on. Sometimes they do like
cowboy western roots of Birmingham.
Yeah, literally. But also, because a spoiler, we didn't get this. I'm sad we didn't get like an Australian number, you know. But we got a cowboy western number anyway. It was fun, and I love Anne-Marie, so I was happy with the song.
And like, it was fun to watch. I really liked how like uplifting and like. They looked like they were really enjoying this one. And I don't know if it was acting or real, but they seemed like they were all like, you know, there was a lot of like a high five or a slap on the bum.
Yeah. I love the line-up where they did, you know, they say sat down and they did the links.
They did a special
I love that. And it's got so like, because also, this is really rogue reference, but in the next step, they have one of the, told you it was rogue, they have one of their dances and it's like one about how they like support each other and like love each other as a family. It starts off in them like in a row linking and it ends and they do like the kind of thing in a row like that, linking arms, and it reminded me of that, which I really enjoyed.
I really wish I talked about that armography in my debrief, but I was really running out of time towards the end of my video.
Oh god, I know.
But that I really did like that armography, you're right.
I really enjoyed that.
Shout out to Next Step.
Shout out to The Next Step.
Never seen it.
Shout out to Cheryl from The Next Step.
Wow. There you go, cowboy number. And then we went on to, so they had all the benches for this number, and so then it was lovely to have everyone. They were like, now we can all sit, have a moment with the audience and everyone on stage, except Uvita, because she was doing a costume change.
Was she?
Which they acknowledged in my show because it was time for instant dance.
On a tour?
On a tour.
Did you just throw up?
Oh.
Instant dance. Instant dance on a tour. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. What was really funny is in my show, Neil said, we had some fun challenges. Like, you all loved the instant dance. Silence.
No.
No one in my audience reacted.
Oh no.
Not a single sound was made, and he went, well, we're doing it.
See, ours was a lot more like
loud.
Yeah.
Mine was loud. Other than that, there was like a few moments, but yeah, I don't know.
Because he was like, he introduced it, and it was like people going ooh, ooh, and
led
then
by
like
you.
Yeah.
Front row.
And it was us going. I went, does it rhyme with Finstant Plants?
He said yes.
It
was instant dance, and he basically, all of them were on stage, and he went, we're going to pick 2 people, and here's a list of dance styles, and someone shout one out. And anyway, the reason I know Yuvita wasn't there is because someone shouted Yuvita, and then they all looked around and went, she's the only one not on stage. Who got picked for yours?
We had first Kai.
Okay.
Second, Vito.
I'm so happy about that, and I was so disappointed.
We were shouting Vito loud.
Yeah.
Good, because we had Julian, and then someone shouted Yuvita, and then they all realised, and then someone kept shouting Neil, and I was like, I'd love that, because Neil clearly didn't want to be doing it because he was presenting it, and then Neil picked someone else. Shout out to my flatmate who may have just collapsed in the hallway. No, he's fine.
It's fine, it was in the kitchen.
He's fine.
Oh my god, Cluedo.
Shout out to Cluedo.
Shout out to Professor Plum.
Miss Scarlet with the candlestick and the.
Is Professor Plum in this?
We've lost it.
And
anyway,
we're back.
Neil picked someone that was shouting not Neil, and
it
ended up being Lauren. So we had Julian and Lauren.
And I wasn't there.
And you weren't there, but I would have wanted to see Kai and Vito.
Well, dance style. Well, basically, so they do the dance style, and everyone behind the Neil, no. Well, yes, but behind Vito and Kai, everyone was going, rumba. And they were all on stage going, rumba, rumba, rumba. And we were all going, rumba. I would say it's rumba before they even started saying
rumba. I would.
I didn't even know they were saying rumba.
I
was saying rumba because I wanted rumba.
So they did rumba?
They did rumba.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So, this was the other thing you reminded me. The whole cast were pointing at Neil to try and get us to say Neil, which is why I'm like, why did the one person not say Neil? But anyway, I think it was Jive.
I'm so jealous.
Jive
You got a Lauren Jive.
I'm jealous you got a Vito and Kai rumba.
Well, this is the thing. We have to be woke again.
Let's be woke.
The thing is,
What was that?
we had 2 men doing a dance, which I was in the audience and I went, make it earnest, because I knew that they were doing it to be, well, not to be silly, but like the other pros I think found it funny. And we were like, but you wouldn't laugh if it was like Kai and Lauren were doing a rumba.
Oh,
You're
so
laughing
they did it silly.
Well, they didn't. They started off silly. Kai, you know when they like do the, and he did that and kind of like slightly lifted Vito up and like was like, and then Vito laughed. But like it was a bit silly. And the friend that's too woke in me is like, but like, why couldn't we have like an earnest 2 men rumba?
I wanted it because it's a sexy dance.
Yeah.
Vito was trying to be serious, which is shocking.
But
no, Vito was Vito was trying to like be serious. He was dancing it like.
And also, in their defence, I spoke to Kai about it after the show, and he said it's because it was Vito, and Vito is like Vito, and if it was a different man, he would have been more serious with it. But it was because it was Vito. So I feel like maybe it's like an inside joke, more like.
Yeah.
But I hope that instant dance gives us more same-sex dances because of the lack of them that there are in the show. Guys, we can rig it. Let's make it gay.
What is the issue with it? Not issue with the concept.
Make it gay.
But issue with the fact of how they pick it is like he's shouting out for names, but like
Neil could surely did he like pick individual people in yours?
Yeah.
They could just like
they didn't do that.
No.
They just. I don't know if it's because everyone was yelling.
Oh, okay.
But I think it needs to be picking individuals because he could have just lied.
Yeah, he did. He just went. The names were yelling, and he was like, "You're yelling loud. What did you say?"
Because
so
the Vito, everyone was definitely yelling Vito. So I feel like, I mean, we were, but like I still think people were yelling Vito. So I understand.
But we shouting, "Do it, Ernest!
Do it!"
But
like,
I heard a woman behind me laugh and go, "Oh, do it." She's right.
But I didn't hear anyone yelling Kai.
That's incredible.
I just wanted an earnest man rumba.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
I'm hoping for some woman-on-woman action.
Did John and Jojo do a rumba?
Yeah, it was gorgeous and stunning. And when they did it in the final, they were so close to kissing.
Okay, we're going to move on. On that note, we're going to move on. So then we had, and I forgot to write this one down, although it was actually really fun. Which way around is it?
But there's this first.
We
haven't mentioned that.
Okay, so...
I don't know when that happened, but we haven't mentioned it.
I don't remember when that happened either, but...
Vito was in his checked shirt, so it must be near this.
It must have been near this.
It was before it, because he was wearing the checked shirt, the other people for that dance came on, and then I was like, oh, I wonder where Vito's got, and then he came back on in the same checked shirt. That bit I do remember. And
so there was basically Nancy and Vito doing a bit about the use of social media by the pros, and the fact that Vito's social media is a lot of him being shirtless, and he was like, it was a very hot day, and Nancy was like, in December, in London.
It was funny.
It was very funny. There were pictures of Name Game. I was like, oh my god, Name Game. Mm-hmm. Although I do wonder about the choices of like what social media things they use, because like Name Game, fair enough. One of the things I was like, that's a video of Luba dyeing Lauren's greys. Why is that? Also, when we told Lauren that the Name Game was on the screen, she didn't know. So does she know that there's a video on the stage of her hair getting dyed? I mean, she put the video on the internet, but
I suppose it is out there. But yeah, there was some funny choices.
It's like, what?
But it was quite funny the amount of shirtless Vito content they had, and they did not hold back.
We did talk about it, didn't we? About how the Vito on social media is. I'm not saying he's bad at it, but it's just.
If he wasn't very, very handsome, a lot of his videos wouldn't do well, because it is just him eating a biscuit, but he's not wearing a top.
Or he's doing like a, what ethnicity is my mouth?
Yeah. He loves a TikTok filter, a little game. Yeah. But he'll again shirtless.
I feel like his vlogs are a better representation of him.
He's better on those. Yeah, for sure.
And I think
those are good.
I just think his Instagram with the most peace and love in the world. Maybe this is coming from a lesbian, but his Instagram is just like not really. Yeah, okay, it's just a lot of like, but it's also just like, is it really just. Like, is it him? Like, as in, like, I want to see him. People like him on Strictly, right? But initially, why people liked him is because he's Vito, he's himself.
We've got Emily on a Vito rant, and we need to be talking about the Pro Tour. Change the subject. Should we do something else?
I wholeheartedly agree.
And why would Vito ever be shirtless?
And that's why I love. So one last thing. That's why I love Diane's vlogs, because Diane posts Vito in a Vito way, because Diane like shows.
I'm not quite sure what this has to do with Pro Tour. There might need to be an editorial decision on how much of that stays in.
No, it's not staying in, because we're just staring at Vito the whole time. This is just us there, hi buddy.
And I'm just here.
And then we have a dance.
But then there wasn't any social media dance.
No. Oh, and they took a selfie.
Oh, they took a selfie with the audience, which is really bad. Vito, just a tip for you. If you're on an iPhone and you're on photo, you can tap the screen, bring down the brightness, and it'll get rid of the backlighting, so then you can actually see our faces a little bit better. I was really looking. I'm not in that photo.
Also, they plugged the social media for the tour, but like, you can't post from in the show. Yeah. So it's also a bit like...
It was odd.
It's odd to plug social media in a show you can't post on social media.
Yeah, and also they plugged social media for the show and not us.
Yeah, if you're gonna... Sorry! There's this whole section about, TikTok, hello... Do you know who was in the audiences? And yet, not a mention or whisper.
What the hell? Come on, just a little whisper. You say whisper like Whisper, the chocolate bar. Anyway.
What do you mean?
Isn't it the same word?
Whisper.
One
spelled W-I-S-P-A. Whisper.
How did George Michael get chocolate on his shirt? He was careless with his whisper.
That's good.
They've after me.
The police siren. Comedy police are coming for you.
We're so good, the police have come.
So, we're almost there, guys, promise. We have no idea.
This episode's longer than the show.
This episode is longer than the show. We had, look, the order of the second half, you'll enjoy it when you see it. This could be completely wrong. This, like, tarot card thing, which is hilarious because insider knowledge of my life, I was literally telling Poppy before the show that my next TikTok series is going to be just like fake tarot card readings because it's funny. And then they did a whole tarot card reading bit in the show.
They stole your bit.
They stole my bit.
Like Neil looked into the crystal ball.
Yeah, they looked. So they had they did a bit about like who's my next pro. So Neil's not getting a celeb. He said that, although it might just be a joke, but he said that. But anyway, Jovita led it. She was this like, they called her a witch, I think, but she was not. She's a fortune teller, no? Maybe that is what they called her.
I don't remember what they called her.
They did some weird
What they call her behind her back is none of our business.
It's none of our business, even if it is in front of 2,500 people.
This is where the gyrating comes back.
It did come back.
Because Alexis and Vito being the lovers card.
I actually don't remember most of this.
I am concerned about the children in the audience because I felt scandalised.
They were literally gyrating on stage.
Is that what's that Mormon thing? Soaking?
Secret Lives of Mormons.
Like, she's a married Mormon. Why is she doing that? Do what you want, queen. Live your best life. Women supporting women. But also...
there was a lot of...
It was really sexual.
Oh, it was very like, everything.
It was too much, I think. Rein it in.
But...
I loved it.
But I enjoyed it from the point it was...
Emily's phone's ringing.
Pause for phone call.
It's Edo. Get him on speaker and tell him we're recording the podcast.
Hey!
Hey!
We're currently recording a podcast.
This is
you're
your
live.
cameo.
This is your cameo.
Say what you want about the Pro Tour. Give us 3 words about Pro Tour. Go.
Okay, my 3 words for Pro Tour. Unexpected.
Okay.
And can I say brand new as one word?
Yeah.
Hyphenated. Yeah, it's fine.
And different.
Ooh, thank you so much.
Okay,
we will be in touch
We'll
shortly.
be in touch shortly. We're just finishing up, then I'll message you.
Sick.
Okay, peace.
Bye.
Bye.
And that was Team Buzzwell, Edo Official.
There you go.
Follow him on Instagram.
Anyway, yeah.
The gyrating.
Gyrating.
See, I enjoyed it from the point of it was my 2 favourites, but also it was like, okay, but why are you...
I felt like I shouldn't be watching it.
What? It's like, where's the curtain?
I felt like it's one of those where it's much better. It feels less weird when you're watching it on TV at home.
I thought you could say it feels less weird when you're doing it. Like, they probably don't realise... Like, do they know how... You look like you're...
I think it's just funny because
just get the bleep
it's
machine
like,
ready. Like, it's really...
Yeah, they went from like... I mean, it wasn't direct, I don't think, but like, Vito takes his top off too much to now watch him do this.
It just
like,
was a
whoa.
lot, and I just feel concerned.
Also, I realised the instant dances where Julian just decided he wasn't going to wear a top.
That doesn't surprise me.
And he like started with a top, and then Neil made a joke about it or something, and then like 5 seconds into the dance, he just threw it away.
I really wish I'd seen that joke. This is the problem with the instant dance. Is you can't record on the show.
Every show's
so
different.
every show's different, and I'm not at every show.
Yeah. You're at most. See you there. So this dance, the only bit I really remember is at the end, I thought we were going to get Luba and Jovita because there was like 10 seconds where just the 2 of them were on stage, and I was like, oh, we're going to get this dramatic duet, I don't know what it's going to be, and then they did like one lift or twirl or something together, and then Luba went, see ya.
Yeah,
and
I was
off
like,
she went,
oh.
and I went, oh, because I, again, previously said I really want a Luba and anyone but maybe Jovita dance together. Didn't get it. Not properly.
We'll have to rig an instant dance.
Yeah. Well, this is it. I hope that they do rig it in a way that like everyone gets to do some instant dance as well. I'm glad both of our shows had 2 different people each. Although Jovita, maybe it was just my show. Maybe she just had to run off to do something. But
I wasn't paying attention.
because it's the instant dance is right before because that's how they lead into it, I think. Anyway. We'll just go straight to the last dance, shall we?
Finale.
Never gonna not dance again. I'm never gonna not dance again. So it was the 2022, yes, because Maisie was in it.
No.
What?
It was Helen and Molly and Flora and
Molly was in
Hamza.
it. I was thinking of Molly, but said Maisie.
Okay, that's allowed.
In my head, it was
That's okay.
Molly. But I said Maisie.
It's okay.
No.
Wrong. Try again.
I've never watched Strictly in my life. It was that final, although it was the opening to that finale of Strictly, it was the closing to this.
Put it on YouTube, Strictly.
Yeah, it's not on YouTube.
It's not on YouTube.
It's not on YouTube.
I
Yeah.
have to watch the screen recording that looks like it's been taken off.
And I have to watch Emily's screen recording that looks like it's been filmed
off a potato.
I don't know what's happening today.
Never's not gonna dance.
Never's gonna not gonna dance again.
You know what?
Never gonna speak again. I think after this
Yeah.
one.
So they did
Don't
that.
speak.
I do love this song. I'll be
I'm
honest.
really
I love
emotionally
this
attached.
song. When it was one of my favorite openers to a finale on Strictly. It just was so feel good, and I remember them all being in the dance circle. The reason I said Maisie and I meant Molly is because I specifically remember her bit of like doing that, and I was like, this is so fun, and I loved it. And so it was a really good choice for the finale, and again, it felt familiar because we're like, they do this. They've done this song multiple times as well. It appears at least in like VTs
pre-show
and stuff
playlists
all the time. So this is a big. This song is called Never Never Gonna Not Never Ever Not Dance Again. And
then it went into the final song of the show, which can I say, a 2-song finale. Step it up. Where's the mashup, guys?
It ended quite quick.
Where's the encore? Anyway, Human. Are we or are we Dancer? That's the question. That's the song.
Clark Arena.
The greatest. Georgie. Oh God.
It was the show dance of George and Alexis.
Georgie. It took me. I'm proud of myself. You know how long it took? I waited for so long. I haven't said it.
And you said it now. Say it one more time.
Georgie.
And it just made for a wonderful, uplifting. They were all jumping around and having a lovely time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
It was just so cute. They all just.
I was surprised that there was no everyone get up and dance with us.
That's true.
I did think it's based on those two songs as well.
We were going like, when can we get up?
We were like,
never gonna not dance again.
Everybody, get on your feet.
So
this is why we should have been in charge.
Yeah, we'll choreograph it next
Sorry,
year.
Matt Flynn.
He's
never coming on the show.
He said, I don't want to go near these people. Great finale, very fun. But the second half was at least 10 minutes shorter than the first half.
Yeah.
And it did sort of abruptly end.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's done. And then I was like, maybe they're going to come out and do one more dance or something. But no, it was just like, lights up, go home.
So, oh.
Okay, we'll do.
So that was the show.
And that was the show. And I said it halfway through, but I'll say it again. The band and the singers, huge shout out. They were all incredible. There goes the audio spike. They were just, like, the show with a live band, live singers is so much better.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of mashups. There was a lot of like songs that were changed into a different style of songs so that it fit the dance, and it just all really worked. I had a very good time.
I did.
But I am slightly concerned about what your hot take might be.
Well.
So let's see how good a time Poppy had.
I don't even know if this. Well, I guess this is the hot take. The hot take is, I prefer previous Pro Tours. Hot take. Basically, I think this year's Pro Tour and previous Pro Tours, the difference is this year is we're going to show you how good at dancing we are. And the dances themselves are spectacular and brilliant and high quality. However, previous Pro Tours I think have had more emotional moments and more emotional routines, funny routines. I don't think we actually had an actual routine that was funny. It was Neil doing things that were funny, that were either in talking bits or intro bits. The closest we got was his bit of Minecraft, which was just him. Previous years we've had routines that were for humour and were funny. I don't know why we didn't get that. We've had more same-sex dancing in previous years. Don't know why we didn't have that. I missed having a big ballroom number. We had little bits of ballroom here and there, but I missed having a really big spectacular one, especially when we had those on the main series, and I'm like, well, why couldn't we use them? And also the scripting wasn't as personal to the professionals as it has been previously. Like we've talked about basically the whole episode, it was a lot of, we're just going to tell you what's happening next, and it wasn't as, like other years they kind of told their story a bit more and you've learnt more about them. I feel like I didn't actually learn anything about anyone.
No.
So I prefer previous years for that reason. When it comes to the literal dancing, I don't know how to possibly compare because the dance routines are different, and I don't want it to seem like...
the last one was a while ago, and we can't...
I don't want it to seem like I didn't enjoy this year's, because I really did. Like the stuff that I wouldn't take out anything except that social media bit, where I'm like,
keep it in.
Why do we need that?
No,
but
we had 50 photos of Vito shirtless all across the back of the stage.
Right,
what do you mean take it out?
I'm sorry. But I think I would keep everything. And we should change that. I would keep everything, but I wish there were things added that they didn't have. Like a dance for Lauren.
I do completely agree with this, actually, though. You saying that has made me agree with it, because it wasn't something I thought necessarily while watching it, but thinking back to the previous one of the bits that really stands out to me was they were all sat in a bench, all of them, and they were like passing the mic down and all saying just a little bit about themselves, or like a little, what dance music, I can't remember what it was, but it felt like very cozy and personal, and there wasn't that much of that in this show. It didn't feel very personal. The caliber of dance was incredible, and it did feel like they were like, look how much dance we can do in 2 hours, which is amazing. The fact that these people are doing this twice a day and then traveling that night to somewhere else to do it twice a day the next day, crazy. That's so impressive. But yeah, I do feel like it felt more like a dance show with a cast of people that you're like, I know them from the TV, than a show about these dancers.
It felt like we're going to give you some of the highest quality dance you can get, because these are some of the highest quality dancers, and it really reminds you how good they are. And also it's very impressive the way it was built pretty much from the ground up, because it's not like previous years where they've just adjusted things for the stage. It's like, this is all new choreography for the most part. It's high quality, complicated choreography. Like, I don't want it to sound like I didn't enjoy myself, and I'm trying to undermine the hard work that went into it, because I do think it's a really good show. It's a really uplifting show. But I just would have added a little few. Just add that in there. Change some of that scripting.
I also
and you're good to go.
wonder, and this is maybe not a fair thing to say, but they're dancers who they're obviously all on TV, so they're used to speaking to a camera, and there is a live audience at Strictly as well. But the concept of like being stood on a stage with a microphone in hand speaking to 2,000-3,000 people is terrifying. Especially when it's scripted, because when it's scripted, you're acting, and that is so different to like answering a question earnestly, and they're, do it, Ernest.
Exactly.
And that to me sounds terrifying. Which, like, you know what, very impressive. Got to give them all credit. All 10 of them spoke and had lines, and I would say Luba's felt the least scripted, because she was talking about herself and it got emotional, but they all did a great job. It would just be quite nice for them to try and like connect with the room instead of just entertain the room. But yeah, previous years it's felt like less scripted, even though it will be scripted. The live Strictly tour is scripted, a lot of it, most of it, pretty much all of it, but it doesn't feel scripted. This did feel scripted. And that's maybe just the jarring difference there.
Any additions? You don't have to have any additions.
My addition is I don't have an addition.
Okay.
It's a good addition. We'll
so,
take it.
Any other thoughts and feelings about the Pro Tour before we end?
I thought the playlist was, did I say it already? I can't remember, but the playlist was really good. I think that goes into the fact that I think the dances were really good. And I think when Neil came out, I think when Neil said about how it was the best
stage door said to us.
Yeah,
it was the best.
It was the best, and I definitely think from the point of view of like his like the fact that they've done all this work, obviously a lot of the time it's kind of like revisiting the stuff they've done before, so it's probably a lot less prep. So I think from their point of view, like from that point of view, and from the fact that like all the dances, I do think in that it is the best yet. But I do agree that I wish there was some more like personal stuff, like when they would do like last year when they walk up steps, when they'd be talking about their lives, or I started their dances. I remember Vito walked up these steps at the side and did his little bit. That kind of, I wish they'd had a bit more like, even if they repeat stuff they said before, I grew up here, or I live. I know I might already know the facts, but it's nice just to see it.
It's nice.
You know?
I wonder if they were scared, thinking everyone knows these people's stories except maybe Julie and Alexis, because they're the only two new ones. But no, we would hear it again. Also, shout out to all of them, but the dancers especially, they only started rehearsal not long ago. The fact that because there's so much dance in this, and most of them are on stage the whole time. There's a few duets that we spoke about, but most of the time it's most of them. There's so much to learn and remember, and I didn't really see any mistakes. No. So like, I spot more mistakes on the Strictly show on a Saturday night, and they get to refilm those if it doesn't go well. So I'm like, how did they nail that? Incredible.
So that's been the episode, I believe.
That has been the episode.
I hope everyone enjoyed. I hope if you've been to Pro Tour, please let us know what you think. I hope you've been to it. If you're listening to this, I hope you're not going to it and we've just ruined it.
Yeah.
If you've been, let us know what you think. If you're able to go, I hope this has shed some light on what happens on the show.
Yes.
You can follow me at StrictlyPoppy on TikTok and Poppy.Morrison_ on Instagram, and also make sure to follow the podcast on TikTok as well. And I will eventually start putting more stuff on the Instagram for the podcast. I will.
Maybe. And you can follow me at Jordan Kant on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. And
do you want to shout yourself out, or do you want to remain anonymous?
I'm elusive, but my name's Emily. You can find me through Poppy.
That's fun.
Go on, have fun find me.
Next week.
Quite easy. It's really easy actually. Just go on Poppy. Oh look, she's there. Shock.
Next week, hopefully, we're gonna have a very exciting guest.
The week after, we will also have.
And the week after, we'll hopefully have a very exciting guest. Let's just say their names when they came up today. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And the topic of said podcast will revolve around them. So yeah, stay tuned. Actually, as time of airing, we will be filming that tomorrow. So yeah, isn't that exciting? So there you go. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys. Bye. Bye. Bye, second camera.
Why am I holding my own arm?
Bye, camera.
I hope it's all recorded. I'm so scared.